We're standing at the edge of a health revolution. The next 10 years will completely reshape what it means to really age. And for the first time in history, reversing biological age might actually be possible. In fact, I know that it's possible. And in this video, I'm gonna break down cutting edge trends in longevity research and biohacks that can really make a huge impact on you. I really do believe that everything is going to change, but we need to understand, what does the future of longevity research and health research actually look like? So right now, where we are in longevity science is amazing. In the last 5 years, we've had a longevity research boom that has allowed for us to understand what is it that actually is moving the needle for us to impact our biological age and reverse various biological markers within your body, how you can increase your lifespan, and not just your lifespan, but your health span, which is the years in your life versus just the life in your years. So we have a lot of amazing research that's coming out, but what is about to come out and the future of research is about to transform the industry forever. This is essentially what's next. I'm gonna get into some emerging trends and solutions that will literally take us to completely new levels of excellence. Okay, so let's just talk real quick about a double-blind controlled research trial. You've got, one thing that you're studying, and you've typically got a placebo that you're studying it against, or another thing that you're studying just to see the difference, okay? And oftentimes, it doesn't work. And why doesn't it work? And I'll give you this simple analogy to help you understand why research is flawed today in certain ways, right? And how the research market needs to expand beyond where it's at right now. So if you have 3 plants, 1, 2, 3, and they're all wilted, and you do a double-blind controlled research study on the first plant, and you just put water in it, and it stays wilted, the conclusion of that study shows that water is not good for plants, or it didn't impact the plant at all. The second plant, you study micronutrients, and you put micronutrients in the soil, and the plant stays wilted. And the conclusion of that study is that that plant does not get any benefit from micronutrients and a healthy microbiome in the soil. And then you go to the third plant and you give it sunlight and it stays wilted. The conclusion of the study is that sunlight is not good for plants, or it doesn't do any, in fact, it harmed the plant. It made it more crispy and it's dangerous, okay? So you guys are probably laughing because you know that research should not be done like that for a plant. And what's like a plant? A human is. So if you were to put water and micronutrients and sunlight into that, water in the pot, micronutrients to that pot, and then expose it to sunlight, guess what happens? The plant flourishes, it blooms, you're smelling all the amazing fragrance, it produces fruit or tomatoes or strawberries or blueberries or whatever it is, right? And so that is the way that we should be doing research. It should be more holistic, it should be more vitalistic. The other challenge is that when a breakthrough comes, how long, I want you to, just put in your head, how long do you think it takes before that breakthrough reaches a doctor's office? Think about this, okay? Do you have a number? Good. Okay, the average time that it takes for a breakthrough in research to reach a doctor's office so that the pharmaceutical industries can test and patent and all of these other things to create a breakthrough drug is 15 years. 15 years, if they're lucky, 10 years. So what you're telling me, Dr. Jones, is that breakthrough that comes out today, it doesn't actually hit me for another 15 years. And to that I would say yes. Unfortunately, that's the case in today's day and age. So what should it look like moving forward? And the research moving forward should embrace what I call systems biology. It's that one system isn't separate. It's not mechanistically separate from another system. Human beings are not like cars. You can't take an engine out, right, of the human without affecting or maybe infecting other areas of the body systemically, right? You can do that with a car, but again, we're not like a car. So when you impact the brain, you're impacting the heart, you're impacting the lungs, you're impacting the gut. When you impact the gut, you're also impacting the brain, right? Systems biology is that there's interconnectivity in the different systems of the body and that they're holistically integrated, and that when you impact one, it definitely impacts another. So what we need to do is we need to study and we need to research in more of a holistic and vitalistic way. And we need to understand systems biology and how one thing impacts another system, and how that system then upgrades and how it upgrades another system, and how it leads to ultimately us living longer, healthier, more vibrant lives, right? So that is the future of research. In fact, I'm launching an institute called the LIVE Foundation, Longevity Institute for Vitality, where we will be utilizing cutting edge research to understand what is actually happening in the body. What can we do to move the needle on us living longer and healthier? And so research is going to be real time. So I'll say that one more time. Research is going to be real time. So what we're going to be able to do is use biometric tracking systems like an Oura Ring or a Whoop Band or a Garmin watch or an Apple Watch or all of these other biometric tracking devices that are out there, continuous glucose monitor, a CGM, right? And we will be able to see increases or decreases in micronutrients. So what's emerging is the ability for us to test the blood and see micronutrients that are increasing or decreasing based off of what you're doing and what lifestyles solutions you're integrating, right? And so we believe that this is the future. The other thing is that you want to see systemically how those stem cells or those exosomes or those peptides are impacting the body. And so again, we want to be monitoring and looking at how these things are impacting multiple systems of the body so that we can give you real data on, yes, it impacted your heart health like this, and it's very healthy for your heart, but guess what? Your brain, it plummeted. And so we have to figure out what combination of this is actually really good for you. Whereas a lot of this kind of, I would call it linear research that's being done, doesn't understand systems biology and doesn't understand maybe that, yes, it helps the heart, but it damages the brain, right? Think about the Lipitor that came out and there was this black box warning that was put on it. And then they ended up getting sued and they settled in court for billions and billions of dollars. Vioxx is another one. So you've got these different medications that have settled for billions of dollars in court. Why? Because they were studying a biological pathway and they weren't looking at what micronutrient deficiencies is this creating in the body? How is this impacting the body in other ways? And ultimately, a lot of these drugs end up creating mental illness. A lot of these drugs end up creating other problems that are even bigger than the problem that they're quote unquote solving. So research is going to be holistic. It's going to be vitalistic, and it's going to be embracing systems biology. It's going to also be more real time. And so this is my vision for the way that research is going to go, is that patients and or research people that opt into research will be wearing different CGMs or micronutrient, blood testing, hormone testing, apparatuses, along with the various, devices that maybe they wear, that we can monitor real time the impact that certain things have, right? It could be a hydrogen machine, and the hydrogen. It could be, an actual technology like a myofascial release gun. It could be a particular supplement that we're looking at the effects and the impact that it's having. So I just took around 6 different supplement products before I shot this video. And I know just from my biometric tracking and just doing this type of research on an N of 1 level, which is really looking at my own health and my own biology, it works for me and it helps produce performance in me. Whereas another product might cause major issues. Like I've looked at some of the Blueprint supplements from Brian Johnson. And what's interesting is he's going mass market with this stuff. However, if I took what he takes, I would actually have a negative effect. Well, how the heck? It works for Brian Johnson. Why wouldn't it work for you? Well, because I have a long-term sensitivity immunologically to some of the things that he's recommending that I take. And so if I were to take that, I'm creating chronic inflammation in my body and I'll age faster. So I know that the N of 1 approach is going to be the research of the future. Sure, we're going to get lots of really great research data, but then we want you to be able to research on your own what's happening in your own body so you're listening to your innate intelligence, but ideally with a longevity practitioner that understands what the heck is going on and how you can integrate different things and monitor it so that there's better results that end up happening. All right, so as we age, the goal is for us to monitor and to get more data so that we can understand how we can optimize our health as we age. It's going to be different when you're in perimenopause to menopause. It's going to be different from a teenager to somebody that's playing athletics in university to somebody that's a father on a desk job, right? So as we change the way that we live, we need to honestly be monitoring what's happening and upgrading as well. So one of the visions that I have is that as you monitor this N of 1, that there's data that is being given to doctors and AI that will help to essentially create custom strategies real time for you, where it's like, hey, I noticed that your heart rate variability plummeted yesterday. You didn't get a good sleep. The goal for me today would be for you to take XYZ micronutrients and help you get back on track. I would also recommend utilizing this device if you have it available or whatever. And then all of a sudden you're just like, man, you're upgraded, right? So my role in the vision of the future is to pioneer the foundation, the nonprofit Longevity Institute for Vitality. I want this to be a research hub that allows for doctors to integrate this into their offices and get real data on patients that will allow for us to change the trajectory of healthcare forever. No longer are we waiting 15 years. No longer are we waiting 10 years. No longer are we just waiting for these big multi-billion dollar and the trillion dollar, pharmaceutical industry to just profit off of us. It's time for us to take the research that's coming out now, apply it to our life, utilize it in the context of people that know what they're doing and the conglomeration of data that is based off of a systems biology-based platform that's holistic and vitalistic and that takes into consideration that the interconnectivity of things will ultimately give us the way that we should be processing research in the future. So here's my closing message, is that the future of longevity isn't sci-fi anymore. It's science. We know that we can reverse biological age. And the best part is you don't have to wait. You can essentially start integrating these breakthroughs right now and be light years ahead of where most people will be a decade from today. So I hope that you can learn something from it. The takeaway that I would have is start to listen to your innate intelligence, that communication that your body will give you of whether something is good or not good. And that's probably one of the best things that you could do from a research perspective just right now. And ultimately be in tune with your innate, be in tune with what your body is saying. And what is so powerful about it is that you will be able to go to a completely new level of health. And as this new research model forms, as I launch my nonprofit, the Longevity Institute for Vitality, we're gonna get even better information, we'll get even more precise, and we're gonna create massive transformations in your health, in your family's health, in your children's health, in your grandchildren's health, in your great-grandchildren's health, and hopefully we'll leave a legacy of health and vitality for years and years and years to come. Thank you so much for watching. And please click that subscribe button, click that bell button that will notify you of future videos. And if you like this, please share it with one of your friends or your family members. Thank you so much and have a great day.